How we doing, YouTube? Stevie here. It is, I don't know what it is, November 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th or 10th, something like that. The weekend after Election Day, whatever that would be. Oh, the second weekend in November, I guess it is. I was going to chat just a little bit about wood. I have my wood stove going today. This is actually the first day I started. I was going to start it a couple other days. And I got some little space heaters that I use when it's not really very cold, quite cold, but it's not quite warm yet. I mean, it's just in the middle. Too warm for a fire, not quite warm enough to have nothing. And usually at nighttime, it gets that way at nighttime. You need something to take just a little chill out of the air. So that's what I use for that. And it's a little bit more expensive, but rather than get the wood stove all fired up for that. And this week actually is going to be one of those weeks where I don't burn a fire all day. I'll have to start a fire at nighttime when I come home, because we got here in Northwest Indiana, we got some days mid-30s for night times, which is a little too cold. I mean, my little heaters work okay, but at that point, I just soon build a fire. It's cheaper to build a fire than run them goofy little things. And I mean, they're pretty big. They're not little, but anyway, I was going to talk about the best thing about a wood stove. My wood stove's going now. The best thing about a wood stove, there's a certain kind of heat, and if you have a wood stove, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't have a wood stove, I don't know if fireplaces do it. I've never had a fireplace. I've only had the wood stove. Actually, the very same wood stove. I've had the same wood stove for about 40 years. A little more than 40 years. About 43 years. But, so I don't know if a fireplace is this way or not. But a wood stove, that heat, I don't know what it is about it, but the way that heat generates off of that thing, it warms you right down to your bones. You come in after being outside, working outside all day, or I'm usually outside most of the day, which is the way I prefer it. So don't feel sorry for me. I like to be outside. If I had to work in an office at a desk, I think you'd find me by lunchtime, I'd chuck myself off the roof. That would be unbearable. Absolutely unbearable. Even driving truck all day, I'm outside. I'm in and out all the time. And I'm out in a truck, but I'm outside. Anyway, squirrel, nut. That heat, I mean, it just gets right down into your bones. And I've heard people say, a friend of mine, they both just passed. He passed away this summer, and she passed away a few years ago. But they used to have an oil furnace. Now, when I was really little, we had an oil furnace too. But it wasn't, I don't know if it wasn't big enough or the house wasn't insulated enough, but it was a challenge for that little stove to keep the house really warm when it got cold. But they had a regular oil furnace, like a forced air in the basement oil furnace. And Patty was her name, Greg and Patty. Patty used to always say, when they switched, their other furnace, wore out or whatever, and they had to get a new furnace, and so the furnace people talked her into getting the forced air, high efficiency forced air, not natural gas, but LP, because they live in the country. They didn't have. No, I don't think they had natural gas at their house. I think it was LP. But she said that thing is terrible. The old style oil burner, she said it would run and warm the house up really good. And she said then it would shut off and it wouldn't run for hours. She said that goofy energy efficiency thing, that thing's running all the time. She said it feels like this house never really warms up. I don't know if it's the air moving around all the time or what it was, but I will say I've been in, LP heaters, and it's better being outside. I'm not acting like that, But there is a difference between your heat source and that wood. I don't know. There's just something about it. And hopefully this wind isn't too much. I just realized how much this wind is blowing where I'm sitting. Hopefully it's not too much. I'm sitting at the end of my little house in the woods next to my wood splitter. I unload this wood, split it, and chuck it right in the window where this kind of stuff I'm getting out of the woods. It's dry. This stuff's all dry. But then I don't have to handle it so much. But anywho, I don't know. I was tempted to get a LP heater, a different one. But then I thought, I think I'd rather have that. I'd rather have an oil one. You got to have the tank, and oil can be a little bit pricey, but as long as I've got wood, I'll always burn with wood. But I think I'd rather have an oil furnace than a LP furnace. The one nice thing about LP or natural, but LP especially, I guess, is if the electric goes out, you can turn that oven on and warm up your house with your oven. If the electric goes out with electric, you got to have a generator or something like that. Fool around with all that rigmarole. So that's the nice thing about LP. One of my buddies, he had said his mom, she'd passed away quite a long time ago. She's pretty old, but she refused to get electric for just that reason. Because sometimes out in the country, your power will go out for a day or two, and if it's really cold out, at least that way you can keep the house warm. Especially if it's an old style that doesn't need electric to ignite. I don't know how these new ones are with the electric ignition. If those have to have power to even run at all, or if you can still light it with a match. I said I don't have one. My cough come back. Anyway, yeah, put down in the comments what you guys think about wood heat, if you guys like it. I really like it. Like I said, it warms you right down to your bones. It's more work and it's dirtier, that's for sure. My house is more dusty than normal, but a single guy with just me, it works out pretty good because I don't really care if it gets a little dusty. My housefrau would probably get a little bit agitated about it being a little more dusty than she cared for it to be. But the other thing, another little trick. There's two things. As I said, you guys with wood stoves already know all this, but you have to have on your wood stove, it's a necessity, you have to have a pan of water. Either a pan of water or a teapot or something. Maybe not a teapot, because that has a lid on it, but coffee pot, old metal coffee pot. Because that wood heat dries. It sucks the moisture out of everything. So it's a very dry heat pulling that moisture out. So you need to have more humidity. And all you got to do is put a pan of water on the stove and on your wood stove. And that pretty much takes care of that problem. And one more little trick I learned along the way is if you can get some, you can buy it, but take a mint oil, if you can get some mint oil, real mint oil, and you dip a Q-tip in it, a couple Q-tips in it, and put that in your pan of water. It makes the house smell nice and minty. But I guess that is one of the other drawbacks. You get a little bit, you can smell, sometimes you can smell that wood smoke a little bit on you. But like I said, I don't care. I'm a single guy. Don't make me one hell of a difference one way or the other. But anyway, alrighty, it's 9:16. So hopefully this video isn't too breezy. It's not breezy now, but there in the middle, it felt like it may have been a little bit breezy. But yeah, so I got another load. I need about 150 of these, so I got about 140 to go. Anyway, God bless everybody. We'll talk again soon. Get outside and enjoy Mother's Nature. And I might go live tonight. Probably not, but I might go live tonight. Of course, by the time you guys see this, tonight will be long past. So, alrighty, God bless. We'll talk again soon.